Unique and captivating, Venice is a dream destination for the millions of tourists who fill its narrow streets every summer. But in recent years, mass tourism has driven up rents and driven out locals, leading some to call the city a historical theme park. The rise of low-cost airlines, the dizzying size of some of the visiting cruise liners, and an influx of tourists from emerging new Asian markets have all put local infrastructure under strain.
But almost 6 months ago, all of that came to a sudden halt when coronavirus hit and the new travel restrictions exposed just how heavily many Venetians rely on tourism. You can even see by what's on sale how quickly the people here have had to adapt to life after COVID. They've even got Venetian-style face masks.
Now there are less people than usual, but let me say that it can be a good moment to come, because you can go around, for instance, Venice, but also in the rest of Italy, in places that are less crowded, in which the safety measures are very good, very high, very severe in some cases, and because we are concerned about all the world is concerned about the virus. But we have taken important and severe measures to be sure that people who come are safe in Italy.
Only 55,000 people call this place home, but over 26 million people arrive here each year. And whilst the newly emptied streets have been a welcome breather for some, they've been absolutely catastrophic for others. Another business that has always relied on Venice's steady flow of visitors is the iconic Cafe Florian. The coffee house is an international hotspot, attracting notable customers such as Andy Warhol, Charlie Chaplin, and Clark Gable. It's one of the oldest cafes in the world and was due to celebrate its 300th anniversary this year. Instead, they've been closed for over 4 months. Having recently reopened, Anna tells me how they've been getting on.
We closed the very last day of Carnival, so it was the end of February, up to the very first week of June.
Has the cafe ever been closed for that long in its history?
Never, not even during the World War.
How much down are you on business? 50%, 60%?
I would say 70%.
As much as that?
Venice relies on tourism. No tourists, no life in Venice. Those who complain, now they say, "Ugh, wow, what shall we do without tourists?"
Now, a good proportion of Florian's clientele comes straight from the cruise liners. In fact, in total, those ships account for about 1.5 million extra visitors every year. But not everyone here is delighted to see them.
The recent pause in tourism, provided by the pandemic, has fueled local protests calling for the government to seize the moment to turn the tide on mass tourism. Aline is part of Gruppo 25 Aprile, a network of over 3,000 Venetian residents campaigning to protect the heritage of their city.
Do you think about the cruise liners? Did you see a huge difference or a change during the pandemic because they were no longer allowed to come in?
Oh, yeah, of course, yes. Without them, the air was completely more clear, more fresh, more light.
But those cruise ships bring a lot of people who must bring money to the city.
Not so much. People who are staying in the cruise ships, they sleep there, they eat there, they buy some really cheap souvenirs, all for €1. We want to increase social housing and also to attract investments to create new jobs, new opportunities that are not only related to tourism, because you can't found the economy of a place only in one sector. Because when this sector is in crisis, the economy of the city is collapsed.
So do you think it's possible for you to make these changes? Because it's big what you want to do. You need political and existential and economic change.
We are very, very motivated and we love the place where we live. And in your life, I think that if there is something that you don't like, you have to try to change it.
And another Venetian doing just that is Valeria, founder of Venice Authentica. She's created a platform to connect tourists with authentic Venetian experiences, urging them to spend their money in the right places and preserve Venice's local culture.
Oh, this looks good.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Those are finger foods that are called cicchetti.
And is this the type of thing that you're trying to preserve with Venezia Authentica?
Absolutely, because it's very much like the way of life.
How much of an opportunity do you think Venice now has to restart tourism in a different way?
People are going to finally be okay to say that is true. Tourism is not okay the way it is now. We need to move from the way it is, which is not sustainable, which is extractive, and build something better.
Are you being a little bit naive here? Because ultimately tourism is about money, and you're going up against a machine that is bringing millions and millions of euros into Venice.
The way things happen now, people who are doing tourism business, they are selling the destination. They can make business only as long as there is something to sell. So if we continue that way, extracting everything from Venice, destroying the social economic tissue, destroying the heritage environment, there won't be anything that they can sell anymore. So now is an incredible opportunity to rethink tourism, and if we want to achieve it, it's now, because tourism impacts everything in the places where we live and travel, so that could help us really build a better world.